Hi, let's make some baggies that hold plastic bags. We all are caught in those times where you're in a store and you forgot your reusable tote and you end up with a ton of plastic bags. So what I do is I store them right next to the door or somewhere convenient if I need a plastic baggie, and it just hangs there and it looks cuter than being all shoved in a drawer or something. So all you're going to need for this project is some fabric. You can make the bag any size you want. Mine is 19 wide by 22 long. You're going to need some elastic. I'm using 3/4 inch, just normal sewing elastic, cheap, whatever. Use what you've got on hand. You can adjust the channel if you need to. And then for the handle, you can use ribbon, you can use webbing. I'm using Wright's double fold bias tape because I have a ton of it and it's just simple. You can also just make the handle out of the fabric itself as well. This is super simple, super easy. It eats some yardage up. You know you've got some yardage hanging around that you're not too keen on anymore. So let's use it. So I have cut my fabric to size. Mine is 19 wide by 22 tall. You can make your bag whatever size you want. This just seems to be the right size to store quite a few bags but not take up too much room. So now our next step, I'm going to bring my ironing board here, is to sew the channels. And you're going to press 1/4 inch down. And then fold it 1 inch and press that. You just want this channel wide enough so that your elastic can slip through it without a problem. So if you're using 1/4 inch elastic, you won't need as big of a channel. But my elastic is 3/4 inch, so I got to make sure it's going to fit through here without a struggle. Okay, I'm going to sew that down. Okay, I've put my pins in to hold that channel in place. And I'm just using Gutermann thread, all-purpose thread, and a size 3 stitch length. I guess it would help if I turned my machine on. Don't sew over your pins. To make sure that I have a big enough channel to put my elastic through. Now I'm going to repeat that on the bottom. So fold your 1/4 inch down, and that's just to hide the raw edge. If you wanted to serge that instead and just do one fold, you can totally do that. So now we've got our 2 channels and we can thread our elastic through. So for the length of the elastic, it depends how tight you want those ends to be, but I find that about 10 inches works. Okay, I'm going to go get, oh, here's my safety pin. Yay! Usually I have to go find all my tools. I have them in so many different places. So I pop a safety pin through there, and then on the other end I stick a pin because inevitably when I'm threading this through the channel I'll lose that end unless I'm really paying attention. Okay, so thread your elastic through. Just threading that elastic through. See how that pin catches it from losing the end there. So now that I'm through this side, I'm going to take my pin out, holding the elastic in place. If you need to put a pin there, do it. You just don't want to lose that and have to redo the step all over again. And then I'm going to sew that end down. I'm just using a straight stitch, but I'm going to go over this a couple of times. So I went back and forth 4 times. I'm kind of weird about securing my elastic. I'm going to pop that pin out and sew here about 4 times. And then you can adjust the gathers so they're even. Now we're going to repeat on this side. And then secure the last side down. I think I might have just run out of bobbin. I did. Okay, while I go run and get a bobbin, you adjust your gathers and make sure they're even all the way across. So now you've got a piece that looks like this. So we're going to fold it in half lengthwise. See it start to take shape. And then pop your pins in and we'll sew all the way down that length. If you want to serge, that's fine. If you don't, if you just have those pinking shears, the scissors with the zigzaggy edge, if you cut down your seam allowance with those, your fabric will never shred. Okay, so here's my pinned edge and I'm going to sew all the way down it. You'll be going over 2 layers of elastic at the beginning. Don't forget to lock stitch. I'm just going to trim these excess threads away. And now I'm going to pull it right side out. It's looking cute already, isn't it? Okay, so now for the handle. I'm going to use the binding like I was talking about. And you can kind of get a feel of how long you want it. Mine, I usually cut at about 14 inches. Now one side of the binding is open, so I'm going to stitch that. I'm going to stitch along both long edges to make it look cuter and to close that open edge. I'm going to give that a quick press. And then trim the edges. Now I find the seam, and that's going to be the back of the bag that will face the wall. And here's the front. So So I want my handle to go on the side so that it's really easy to hang and easy to get bags in and out. So on this side, I'll use a clip to hold that in place. And then on this side, same thing. You might want to adjust your gathers a bit here. As long as you have enough to grab on the inside, you're going to be good. Let's sew those ends down. Trim your threads. Make sure to trim all those threads, and you might want to trim the edges of your handle a little bit if it looks better to you. I usually do a little bit. And there's the bag. Let me test it out with some plastic bags. I made this one years ago, and I've used it for so long, I think about 6 or 7 years, that the elastic is worn out. And there it is. It looks way cuter than a drawer full of plastic bags, that's for sure. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you make one and have fun too. This is a great beginner project if you're new to sewing. It's simple enough, straight sewing, no problems at all. Thanks for subscribing and hitting like. I'll see you soon.